How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Down to Earth with Kristian Harloff. This is our daily UAP news channel. Monday through Friday, we try to get you the stories, the things that are popping, right? And there's a lot of it this week, man. There's a lot today. There was a lot the past week. But luckily enough, on tomorrow's show with myself and Mark Riley on the main channel, on the Kristian Harloff channel, where I do UAP Tuesday. I know a lot of you guys found me from that show in the first place. We're going to cover a ton of stuff tomorrow. We're going to cover a lot of the David Grush stuff. And that was going to be one of my stories today, was the fact that David Grush, we talked about it last week, that David Grush was announced to be on the SALT conference panel, and then today it was announced he's not doing it. So we get into a longer discussion about that, when he might appear, when he should appear, the other things that he addressed with Sean Kirkpatrick and the Arrow report, and then the FOIA stuff and all that. We talk about it in great depths tomorrow with Riley and myself, so check that show out. Then I got a notice that there was another report from Matt Laslo where he talked, it was a very quick thing. He talked to Luna, and he asked Luna about UAP hearings and what she said. So we're gonna talk about that, and I'll play the clip in just a second here. But before we do, we really, like, the algorithm is a dummy. The YouTube algorithm can really be a turd. So we want to make sure that people are seeing these videos and that it's recommended to people. So that's why it's so important. Anytime you see a video, you'll have somebody say to you, subscribe to the channel, click like, comment. And I know as you're going, hey, yeah, sure, whatever. If you enjoy the stuff that we're doing here, I ask you to do that stuff. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 25,000 pretty quick. The reason why is because it'll start to get into people's feeds. People will see it more, and people will start asking the questions that you want to ask, that we want to ask. We'll get more guests. We'll do more stuff. So that's why I ask. And one of the things that we're going to get more information of is if we finally get a hearing, right? There was the Gillibrand interview last week that Matt got that said that she was asking Arrow for another hearing. Whether that's going to be just an Arrow-specific hearing, who knows? But Luna's been pushing for public hearings, and so Matt Laslo asked her a quick question about it. Here's that question.
How are you, man?
Hi, what's going on?
I don't know. You tell me. What with the MTG, the motion to vacate next week?
I don't think it's going to go anywhere, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Not feeling it?
Well, I don't think so.
Any update on UAP hearing?
We're working on doing something with USO, so we're talking to some people.
Cool. How's it going?
Okay, so quick, to the point. He asked Luna about it. She said, interesting enough, not just are they doing that, but they're looking to do something with USOs. I think Tim Gallaudet has been a lot more active lately, and I think Tim Gallaudet is absolutely going to appear in something like that, and he'll probably be one of the leads inside of it. But as we do discuss this on tomorrow's show, and the same thing that I say tomorrow, I'm going to say here today, there needs to be some real concrete evidence that's put at this next public hearing, and not just a bunch of listen to this crazy story and listen to what this person says and listen to what that says. It's got to be someone who says, I've touched one of these things. I have seen one of these things with my own eyes. I know what this thing is. I have heard conversations here. I know this particular thing. That's the kind of stuff that we need in these hearings. And I think it needs to be more than just USOs. A USO hearing would be great, but I think it needs to be more than that. It needs to be everything combined. It needs to be big, and it needs to be picked up by the major news outlets. Why? Why do we need the major news outlets? What is that going to do? It brings legitimacy to the average everyday person. If you're watching this video, it's because you have an interest in this subject, whether you believe in it or you don't believe in it. You have an interest in this subject, and you sought out this video, and you sought out someone, or you knew the stuff that I talked about, so you want to hear more about it in the same way that I do, and you kind of locked into the community a lot more. The regular, everyday person who doesn't really pay attention to this thing, and to them it's just a Steven Spielberg movie, it's not real to them until they start seeing it, and they sit down for time for dinner, they turn the TV on to watch some news, and this is the lead story. That's when they're going to take it seriously. Some guy in a T-shirt and a hat talking about it, they're not going to take it as serious. They're not going to look for me, or anybody who does this on the internet, and even the news nations. They're going to cover it if they get some concrete evidence of something that they can't turn away because it'll look too damn irresponsible. It's already irresponsible, but it'll look way more irresponsible and too much of a stinky cover-up. If there's like, well, wait a minute, this guy just showed this picture and said this in front of a hearing, and you guys are still covering the cat story, something stinks. So, but the USO side of it, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the water in general. As when I talked to Darcy Weir, when I talked to Tim Gallaudet, that was pretty much a big topic of conversation of all the different things that have happened inside of the water. And the fact that we barely have an understanding of a fraction of what's going on under the water, and that the water covers the majority of the planet, it makes sense to say that if there was the type of technology that could do that and go deeper than we could even possibly imagine, then yeah, it would make sense. So who knows? What do you think about this aspect of covering the USOs inside of a hearing? Should it be everything combined? Are you cool with it just being one hearing? Do you think it'll actually happen? What do you think? I also think that it's going to be harder to get a hearing going as the election gets closer and closer. I think it's more likely to happen in 2025. That's my opinion of it. But I ask you guys, what do you think? Put your comments in there. And as always, please subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 25,000. Click that like button. Throw your comments in there. Have a conversation. And I'll see you tomorrow.